Welcome, viewers, and thank you for joining us. I'm Braulio Rosa, Executive Director of the Broward County Bar Association. It's my honor and privilege to be interviewing Judge George Odom Jr. for our 17th Judicial Circuit and BCBA Black History Month celebration. Your Honor, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
So, Judge, can you tell us a little bit about when you first joined the bench? Were you elected or appointed? And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this is my first year. I'm rounding out my first year. January 5th, 2022 will be one full year. So I joined the bench this year of January. I was elected here and the process was very enlightening. I definitely got an opportunity to meet individuals that I normally probably would not come into contact with throughout the county. So that was very fruitful in me being able to do that. And so it was a vigorous process, but it was well worth it. And I got an opportunity to really get to know the different people here that reside in Broward County.
And what division do you currently serve in?
I currently serve in the Family Law Division. As of January 10th of next year, I will be in the Criminal Division.
And I'm guessing it's pretty busy in the Family Division.
It is. It's oftentimes dealing with continuous matters with some of the most, if not many, critical and important issues involving families. So they definitely keep us busy over there in the Unified Family Division, but in good spirits. It's good work.
Outstanding. And so where's your family from and what was your upbringing like?
So born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I traveled down here in 2013, the spring of 2013, but I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, a little bit of everywhere, east side, west side, south side. Only place I have not resided is the north side. We had, I was raised primarily by my mother, single mother basically. And we had some economic hardships and challenges. However, we had each other, I have an older sister and a younger brother. We had each other, we had love, and we were able to, that's what was important. And we were able to make it to where we are today.
And I'm guessing that your mother was an inspiration to you, and was that person that really drove you?
Absolutely. I tell people, I would tell people out on the trail, until this day, my mother has never earned more than $25,000 a year at any job that she's ever had. She installed in us commitment, dedication, and perseverance. And so without her, I would not be the man that I am today. I did not meet my father, biological father, for the first time until I was 17 years old. So my mother was a very big portion of whom you see today.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. So transitioning from family, talk to us a little bit about cultural diversity. Do you believe it's important to have a culturally diverse bench?
I do. I believe that in order to increase public trust and for litigants as well as anyone, lawyers that come before come in the courthouse or come before a judge, has to have that degree of confidence that they will be treated fair and equal within the eyes of what many say Lady Justice is blind. So we need to have qualified, diversified individuals on the bench so that it can reflect the very diverse melting pot that we know as this great country.
And have we gotten better at having diversity on the bench that is proportional to the minority groups in Broward County?
We've done better. When I first got here back in 2013, I believe it was somewhere around 6 African American or judges who would affiliate with some type of African American descent. And now I believe it's 11, if I'm not mistaken. So we are doing better, but keeping in mind, Broward County is about, give or take, 33%, plus or minus some deviation points, African American of some, Caribbean, et cetera. About 30 some odd percent, Hispanic, Latino, et cetera. So we can definitely do better. Now understanding the bar reflects a small number of certain minority groups, and so you have to keep that in mind, but we can definitely do better. And there are plenty of organizations, BCBA and other volunteer bar associations, TJ Reddick, Bar Association, et cetera, that are doing great strides to help continue to push that positive equality and initiative forward.
Judge, along that same line, what advice would you give minority law students or lawyers that would want to seek a role, be a judge one day?
Well, don't limit yourself. When we're talking about diversity and diversifying, that means exactly how it sounds. Get involved, get active with your local bar association, get active with your local volunteer bar associations and all the different numerous organizations. Don't just stick to one melting pot. You don't want to limit yourself, because at the end of the day, you are going to be working to serve all the people. And in doing that, it will enhance the relationship building as well as the professionalism and understanding the differences of where people come from and how they arrive to where they are, which will overall increase people's knowledge of why it's so important to diversify the bench with qualified individuals.
So I'm a vet, and in our friendship, and so I know you're a vet. So after leaving the Marine Corps and going to college and going to law school, what kind of lawyering did you do before you became a judge?
Well, first, my wife would say sometimes that I've never left the Marine Corps. Sometimes she says it still seems like I'm in the military, right? I started out as a young lawyer at the PD's office under Howard Finkelstein, and I was there for roughly 3 years. Got all the way up to second chairing on some homicide cases. And then I eventually branched out on my own. I wanted to touch into civil litigation, personal injury. And so I did that, and the firm grew. I was blessed to have some growth there. And so I expanded to Dixon and Odom with my awesome partner who came on board with me as well. And it was shortly after that, about 2 years, fairly successful firm, that I decided to run for judge, which led me to where I am now.
And talking about that, what motivated you to change that career path to go from being a litigator to actually being the judge?
Well, a couple key factors. One was my upbringing. I make no bones about it. I got into some trouble when I was a kid, a juvenile, headed down what society would say was my designated path. And it was he's a federal judge now, Judge Brian Davis, who gave me a second chance and opportunity to clean myself up, which led me to go into the military. And secondly was the going back to a relation of the diversity. And when you go into the courtrooms, especially criminal courtrooms, oftentimes you only see a majority, a group of a certain type of person, Black or brown skinned individuals. And then third and foremost was professionalism. I believe that you can represent the bench, you can do it fairly, you can do it honestly, and you can do it with attitude and decorum that exemplifies this great bench that we have, and you can do it without sacrificing ethics or professionalism in order to do so. And so those were kind of all a combination of what caused me to to make that decision so quickly versus waiting 10, 15, 20 years from today.
And you did so successfully. So kudos to
I
you.
did. I did. The people supported, and I'm humbled and grateful to serve, and looking forward to continue to serve.
Thank you for your service. So knowledge is power. What are the qualities that you believe are important for judges to have?
Well, I learned these, and I think it would be great. I believe it's great for judges as well. But in the core, as you mentioned, my service, we oftentimes people use words like honor, courage and commitment, and it's kind of like a punchline. But when you serve, you really understand the depth of those words. And every day that I get on the bench in representation of understanding the Constitution and interpreting it fairly, I can understand people died, people fought for that very those principles and that document that we all are governed to live by. And so I believe that every judge if they can continue to remember that it's not just a piece of paper, or it's not just how you feel or just a person's attitude, but you are a representation of the embodiment of the core of this country that men and women continue to die and fight for. And that will help continue to guide all of us, not just judges, but all of us in this practice to do what is right by the people and for the people.
Well said, Your Honor. Totally agree. Really, I do. So from the substantive to the fun.
Absolutely.
So I have one question for you, Judge Odom. And so here it is. If there were a biopic that was produced about you, Judge George Odom Jr., who would be the actor that plays Judge George Odom Jr. that you would choose?
I would choose Idris Elba. Now, listen,
because he's cool. That's why.
Listen, he has the swagger. He has the look, the appeal, and so I'm working on the gray. I'm working on getting all this to fit in. But once that gets there, yeah, I think I would pick Idris Elba. Now, the accent I don't have, but I would love to be able to throw a little British accent in there, maybe. I don't know. That's my horrible British accent. But
no,
yes.
I great choice, great actor, super cool dude, and extremely accomplished. So well done, Your Honor.
No, appreciate it. Thank you, Braulio. Thank you.
My pleasure. So yes, Judge George Odom Jr., it has been a pleasure. And, I know we're friends. So thank you for joining me, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you, Your Honor.
You as well. And to you and your family, please give them my best.